So Ada Konobi joins me now. She's an economic research analyst with financial derivatives company as we continue our focus on developments in the oil and gas sector. Good morning to you, Ada. Thank you so much for coming in this morning.
Good morning, Harriet.
So let's quickly get your reaction on that particular piece of news. So crude oil production is to decline by 70,000 barrels per day by 2021. Isn't it time for us to start looking at other options of trying to grow our reserves, for instance, increase participation in exploration?
Well, it's a very difficult time now to attract investment into the oil and gas sector, seeing that oil prices has been declining for the past 2 years. So EIA has rightly projected that by 2021, Nigeria's crude production will drop by about 80,000 barrels to a total of 1.85 million barrels per day. This is no news. I mean, even non-OPEC production as well will decline going forward. So this is mainly because of reduced investment in the oil and gas sector. So that is the main reason as to why we expect.
But if we see increased exploration by local oil companies, for instance, and helping to shore up our reserves in crude oil, wouldn't that be something for us to be looking into, rather than just keep our eyes on how other countries seem to be dictating what the price level is going to be for oil prices?
Well, we could increase our local production in Nigeria. However, with the news about vandalized pipelines, that will obviously cause some sort of a major disruption in the total amount of oil we'll produce and going forward. So we still have our challenges and that we have to face within the country. But then, on the positive side, oil prices are picking up or gaining some sort of momentum, and this is mainly because of the positive sentiments driving the market.
You know why I'm laughing? Because oil prices are just slightly up. They're just at 36. As of now, it's down 0.89%. So it's just at $36.60 per barrel, and we're getting excited over a $6.06 movement.
But then, if you compare to January, it's about 5%, 6% higher than what it was in January. The average oil price in January was about $31 per barrel, but now it's about $32 per barrel. And it started March on a positive note. So, I think the market is just literally holding on to the statement from Saudi Arabia and Russia that they're looking to freeze production. So the market is holding on tight to the outcome of the meeting that will come up in March to see if they'll actually do something. But a lot of analysts still criticize that because a production freeze at record levels, particularly in Russia and Saudi Arabia, will not soak up oil glut, because Russia reached production capacity in January at 10.8 million barrels per day. Saudi Arabia reached highest production capacity at 10.2 million barrels per day. So that's not enough to soak up the glut. And again, we have the problem of compliance. They have said they are going to do this, but then would they actually, come together? Iran has said they are not actually going to be a part of this because they need to produce oil at the pre-sanction levels before, yes, they can begin to entertain conversations. And Iraq has said they are not a part of.
No, I mean, it's not fair. I have to make my own money back. So whichever way it is, this, however, is going to be causing more than, it's going to be sticking in the craw, because everybody apparently isn't on the same page. Yeah. And we've got a very huge challenge on our hands. We've got so much oil in the market and nobody to buy it. Yes. In January, we noticed that one of our heavy off-takers, China, was not, didn't take more than 500,000 barrels per day from us. So that's causing us to feel more than, the proverbial pinch where we don't want to feel it. But going forward, how do you think this is going to play out, especially since we see the market reacting to this positive sentiment that probably the oil route has bottomed out?
I just feel that the market is still not focusing on the basic fundamentals, which is the fact that they're still oversupplying the market. It seems like the market completely ignored the fact that EIA released a report yesterday that crude inventories increased by 10.4 million barrels per day to an all-time high of 580 million. That's quite alarming. You have inventories increasing in the US, although there's some sort of slow production. But then if there's no significant decline in US production, we don't expect oil prices to bottom out. And it seems like Russia as well, despite the fact that there was a weak manufacturing figure, the market ignored that as well and instead focused on the fact that China is looking to step up fiscal policies to kind of stimulate growth in the economy, which will signal increased demand for oil. So there's just news everywhere, pushing oil price in every direction. But I still believe that the core fundamentals are there's still oversupply. U.S. production needs to decline significantly to soak up the oil production. Saudi Arabia has said they'll freeze production, but then the market forgot that the Saudi Arabian oil minister said that they will not cut production, they will freeze production, and he's actually looking to, drag this on for 3-4 months before they go back and revisit, the policy. Typically, Saudi Arabia increases production in summer period due to, very hot weather. So, I mean, isn't it a coincidence that they're looking to, go back to the policies 3-4 months, when it's summertime? So it's quite difficult to know where oil prices are going at the moment, but fundamentals still remain weak.
But then analysts are expecting prices to average about $45 per barrel in the half year on strong demand and non-OPEC production cuts.
Yes, analysts expect prices to pick up during the second half of 2016, mainly because of the reduced slowing production in non-OPEC countries. Typically, production will slow. We can see that the US producers are already kind of feeling the heat, and the EIA as well said that the oil and gas liquidity service index actually grew by 27.2%. This is to show that the US energy sector faces some sort of financial crisis and can't continue funds to carry on at this way, which will automatically lead to decline in oil production. So yes, prices will pick up. India demand for oil in India will grow. China has obviously sort of put in some sort of stimulus to drive growth, which will eventually lead to increased demand for oil. So prices in the second half, the first half of 2017, prices will begin to pick up.
Well, we have a strong demand for oil right now. We need petrol. We need petrol, we need kerosene, we need Jet A1 fuel. We need petroleum products to come back into our market just like every other country. But Ada, thank you so much for coming on the program this morning and talking us through developments on the oil and gas market.
Thanks.
Ada Konobi is an economic research analyst with Financial Derivatives Company, giving us perspectives on developments in the oil and gas industry. Business Morning continues in just a moment. Stay with us.